Welcome to Heart to Talk, the podcast. I am the host and creator, Teresa Caesar. My intention for this podcast is to deliver to you wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness through solo episodes and conversations amongst insightful people. It is my greatest honor to bring to you talks that come from the heart. Welcome back. I am so happy you're here. Today, we're diving in to one of my absolute favorite topics, miracles. Not something rare, not something random, but something you can actually experience in your everyday life. Because miracles aren't just these big, dramatic, once in a lifetime moments, they're a way of seeing, a way of being, and a way of living. And when you shift into that, your whole reality starts to change. So let's start here. What is a miracle? For many people, a miracle feels like something unexplainable, something extraordinary, something that happens outside the laws of nature. But some of the most powerful teachings offer a different perspective. And that's what I'm going to dive into in this episode. Marianne Williamson, I love her. She's the author of A Return to Love, which is a book that's inspired by A Course in Miracles. But she says that a miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love. And Albert Einstein, he said there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. And we all know what kind of contributions Albert Einstein has given humanity and mankind when we think of him, right? One of the greatest mindsets of all times. And he operated in the frequency of miracles every day, not once in a while, but a way of being and a way of living. And it just showed through in the work that he has created and his potential. And it's something that is cultivated, within. So when you really take that in, it changes everything. And especially how you experience life, see life, and expect what's possible in life. Because it means a miracle isn't just something happening out there, it's something actually that's happening within you. Like you are the miracle worker, right? Because you literally are a miracle. Each of us born, right, is literally a walking miracle. And so we want to activate that in all capacities. Yes, there are the most incredible miracles that we can't even explain that we're like, wow, that's supernatural. That's crazy. I mean, we've heard of all of these and have personally experienced them and never even had the words or maybe even kept it secret within our hearts because it was just too crazy to even, say out loud. But actually, at the everyday level, it is the moment that you choose trust over fear. That's a miracle. Possibility over doubt, love over control. It's the moment you decide to see differently because you're responsible for what you see and what you believe. And one of my favorite spiritual teachers and authors is Wayne Dyer, who has passed. But he has one of my favorite quotes ever. And it's when you change the way you look at things, what you look at changes. And that's literally how I feel like I'm able to cultivate a miraculous life because I can look back and decide, how do I want to see my past? Before I used to see victimization, I used to blame. Now I'm like, wow, I see blessings. I see how things actually were working for me, right? So we choose what we see. And what's the most powerful version that you can look at any situation? Because then the situation changes. And that internal shift literally creates the external change. You're the miracle magnet. You've activated the realm, the frequency of miracles just in changing your perspective. And really, what opens the door for the bigger things that you're like, wow, I could have never even imagined that. Because in the realm of miracles, on the bigger things, the opportunities, the love that comes into your life, maybe the healing that happens, that's how it happens for us. It's little shifts over and over when we could wake up and not carry the deep grief that once consumed us and made us feel heavy and see everything dark and heavy. That's a miracle. I think of this family that lives here in Tucson, Arizona, the Murillo family. They had lost their son a few years back and horrible accident. And they have a annual golf event where they fundraise in the honor of their son, and they're able to find love in grief. That to me is the biggest miracle I feel like I've witnessed in a long time. Like, yes, I have my little miracles here and there, but to see someone go from that grief, lose their child, to turning it to something so beautiful. They literally turned their pain into just power and love. And now they raise thousands of dollars for TUSD students. And I feel like students around Pima County, and they adopt a school, a couple every year, and literally every kid in that school gets a pair of shoes. How is that not the biggest miracle? So that is the kind of thing I'm looking for within my own life, or if I witness it for someone who has bared the most unimaginable. That's what inspires me. And that is just showing us the power within us, that love really is our biggest power and our greatest strength. And that's what it means to turn fear into love, grief into love, despair into love. And not that it happens overnight, but it's the intention. It's listening to this podcast. And now you know, if you never heard it before, that's a possibility. A miracle can look like finally believing in yourself after years of doubt, and then opportunities start opening. It can look like meeting the exact right person at the exact right time. It can look like something not working only to later realize it redirected you to something even better. It can even be emotional. And just like I said, those to me are the biggest miracles for myself. And in addition to I'm expecting miracles, that's like my affirmation. I love, love, love to use. I believe in instant shifts and miracles. And then when I can't rely on my own strength, I just say, Divine, God, help me see this better. Because I know I do this work for my living. I know the formula, but sometimes you know what to do, you know the how. But how do we actually not pretend and really shift from fear to love? And that's when I call upon the divine, a greater force. And I invite, I'm like, God, help me see this better. Help me shift. Help me find the answers. And prayer is literally goes hand in hand with the frequency of miracles and expecting miracles. Because when you are in a constant energy of prayer connected to source, a higher power, life literally is miraculous. A miracle can be feeling peace where there used to be anxiety, clarity where there used to be confusion, self-trust where there used to be hesitation. Now let's talk about the science behind this, because I know for some of you, understanding what's happening in your brain helps you trust this even more. So when you start saying things like, I expect miracles, I'm a miracle magnet, I believe in instant shifts and miracles, you're not just being positive. You're actually training your mind. Your brain has a filtering system called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This system decides what you notice throughout your day. So when you repeatedly tell yourself, expect miracles, your brain begins scanning environments to find evidence of that. At the same time, through something called neuroplasticity, your brain strengthens the pathways of whatever you repeat the most. And I know because I've seen what it does for my own life. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And then something powerful happens. You start noticing things you used to overlook: the perfect timing, the aligned opportunity, the unexpected support. And as you notice those things, you reinforce the belief. So now you're in a loop. What you expect shapes what you see, and what you see strengthens what you expect. That's how you begin to tune yourself into the frequency of miracles, I like to say. It's like a vibe, right? It's an energy. Think about anything that you want to tune into. If it's like, I want to tune into joy, you want to go to Disneyland. That is like frequency of joy, energy, right? Now, I want to give you a practice that brings this to life in a really tangible, simple way, something that I do. I love this so much, and it's called your miracle inventory. This is where you sit down and write out all the miracles you've experienced in your life. The big things, the little things, the moments that changed you, the things that worked out when they shouldn't have, the people who came into your life at the right time. Even going all the way back to when you were little. Because what this does, it shifts you from thinking miracles are rare and have not really happened and maybe in the future to realizing they've been a part of your life all along. You're not creating something from nothing. You're recognizing what's already been there. Then you build on it. Throughout your day, you start noticing, was there something that felt aligned? Something that worked out unexpectedly? A moment that felt like the perfect timing? Or at the end of your day, you ask yourself, what was miraculous about today? How many miracles happened for me today? And it might feel small at first, but that's how it starts. Because the more you notice it, the more you validate it, the more momentum you build. And eventually, expecting miracles becomes your normal. And just like good old Albert Einstein said, you either live life as if there are no miracles or as if there are only miracles. And truly, one of the biggest miracles you will ever experience is changing the way you see yourself, your identity, the story you hold about who you are. When you shift from, I'm not ready, to, I trust myself. I'm a person that's highly capable and trustworthy and enough and valuable. I'm seen and supported. People love to help me. Things are always working out for me better than I could ever imagine. Things are always aligning in spaces and places I can't see. Everything begins to change. You show up differently. You make different choices. You carry a different energy, and life responds to that. People respond to that. Opportunities respond to that. And when you really sit with it, that you can change your thoughts, change your beliefs, change what you expect, and your entire experience of life begins to reorganize around that. And that, my amazing friends, is a miracle. So as you move through your day, start playing with this. Have fun. Start expecting things to work out. Start noticing what's aligning. Start celebrating even the smallest moments. And not that you have to force. So to expect miracles means you're not chasing them down. You're just like when you order your Amazon, you know it's going to be delivered. It's on its way. Miracles are just part of your everyday life because you are the miracle. And because miracles aren't just big, rare events, remember, they are happening in subtle, beautiful ways all of the time. When the sun comes up and the moon comes out, when the rainbows come out. I mean, miracles everywhere in nature, in your history, in your life story. And so, friends, as I wrap up, this episode is brought to you by Affirmation Babe. From my affirmation card decks and journals that are designed to help you feel calm, clear, and empowered every single day, to Affirmation Academy, my sacred membership private community where we go deeper. For only $27 a month, you'll get live sessions with me weekly, a supportive community, and tools, resources, and so much more to help you embody this work and truly integrate it into your life. And right now, I'm excited to announce that when you join Affirmation Academy, you will receive $100 credit from Maloney Plastic Surgery and Skincare toward any service or treatment. Thank you for being here, and be sure to share this episode with anyone you think needs to hear this. Leave a review if you haven't already, and rate this podcast. It would just greatly be so helpful. And I just love you so much. Wishing you an amazing rest of your day. Mwah. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please download, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. Also, be sure to visit my website at teresacaesar.com to check out my inspirational merch, connect to my social accounts, and much more. May you continue to be filled with wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness. Otherwise, friends, I will be back for another episode of Heart to Talk.